If you're fascinated by some of the recent space missions and the discoveries that they are making, then you're going to love this episode. In it, we'll learn about the launch of the Psyche mission and what we hope to learn from it, and we'll learn about the OSIRIS-REx mission and its successful sample return, along with what they've already discovered, and they haven't even opened the actual canister yet. Check the show notes for a link to a document that you can download that lists all the objects that we discuss each month, that has descriptions and directions to find the object and links to online finder charts for each object. Hopefully, you'll find this a helpful tool for your planning and observing sessions. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and comment. You know the routine. If you're listening on audio, please leave us a nice review on your podcast platform. It really helps. Please stay tuned, as we're going to be announcing details of an upcoming contest very soon. Now, we've been teasing this for a while, but it is coming. If you'd like to help support the Astro Guy podcast and YouTube channel, you can just buy us a cup of coffee. It's only $5 US, and all the money that's collected is used to maintain and update the equipment that we use to make the episodes. Anyway, if you enjoy what we're doing, please consider buying us a cup of coffee. The link for that's in the show notes. Thanks. All right, enough yammering from me. Let's get to the fun stuff. Welcome to the Astro Guy podcast. I'm not an expert. I'm an amateur like you. I'm here to learn and here to teach. So let's enjoy the ride together. Carpe Noctem. Seize the night. Welcome to the Astro Guy podcast. I'm your host, Wayne Zuhl. On Friday the 13th of October 2023, the Psyche probe was launched on a SpaceX Falcon Heavy rocket on its mission to the asteroid Psyche. Yes, the probe and the asteroid share the same name. Let's take a look at some of the launch highlights.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, engine ignition. And liftoff. Liftoff of Falcon Heavy and Psyche on a mission to a metal asteroid in deep space to study the building blocks of our planet's inner space.
According to NASA, the Psyche mission is a journey to a unique metal-rich asteroid orbiting the Sun between Mars and Jupiter. The asteroid 16 Psyche is unique in that it appears to be the exposed nickel-iron core of an early planet. It literally is one of the building blocks of our solar system. Asteroids like this are extremely rare. We know of more than 1 million asteroids, and only 9 of them appear to be made up of nickel iron. So Psyche has a lot that we can learn from. The main goals of the mission are to explore and understand an essential building block of our solar system, iron core. While we're able to determine that the planets in our solar system have iron cores, we've never been able to directly observe and study them. So this will be the best opportunity to do so. This will also be the first time that we've visited another world that's made of metal, as opposed to the rocky planets that we've visited. Now, I don't want to confuse anyone, as we know the 4 outer planets are gas giants, but their cores are mostly rock and ice. So, Psyche is very different than any other world that we've been to. Let's watch and listen in as the boosters make their way back to the launch site.
We hear the call out for transonic. Landing burn has started.
Terminal guiding. Here it comes.
I don't know, Daryl, but that sonic boom was great for us. I'm sure Jim is excited over there. There's the second one. I'm sure the host desk over there is feeling that really well.
Some primary goals of the mission will be to determine if Psyche is unmelted material or if it's the core of a planet. The age of the surface will be ascertained, and we'll be able to learn definitively if these smaller bodies contain many of the same lighter elements that are found in the Earth's core. The science team will also determine the conditions that Psyche was formed under. Lastly, they'll map the asteroid and catalog all of its visible features. The The spacecraft itself is less than 8 by 8 feet in size. A unique feature is that it uses electric thrusters that are powered by xenon gas. Each of the 4 thrusters produces up to 240 millinewtons of thrust, which is about the same amount of force that you would feel from holding the weight of one AA battery. Psyche's cameras work very much like our eyes, but are even more advanced. They have different lenses and filters to take pictures of the asteroid's surface in various wavelengths of light. By studying the asteroid in these wavelengths, mission scientists will learn more about the asteroid than by just using visible observations. However, it'll be a long journey for the spacecraft to reach Psyche, which is located between Mars and Jupiter. It won't reach the asteroid until August of 2029, but I'm sure that the Psyche mission will be worth the wait. The other big space story that's been in the news is the OSIRIS-REx mission and the success of the sample return capsule on September 24th. The craft was launched back on September 8th, 2016, named the Origins Spectral Interpretation, Resource Identification, and Security Regolith Explorer, or OSIRIS-REx. The spacecraft traveled to a near-Earth asteroid named Bennu, which was formerly cataloged as asteroid 1999 RQ36. Bennu approaches Earth every 6 years. The purpose of the mission was to collect a sample of rocks and dust from the surface of the asteroid and safely return them to Earth for study. The spacecraft spent time studying Bennu before bumping into it to collect a sample. From those remote studies, the observations identified carbonate materials in the asteroid, which usually form in environments that include hot water and carbon dioxide. This suggests that the larger object that Bennu was once part of may have possessed hot springs or some other sort of hydrothermal system. If that's the case, then it's possible that there could be liquid water that has been trapped in the pores of Bennu's material for billions of years. When the return capsule parachuted into the Utah desert just a few weeks ago, the excitement was high for what would be discovered in the sample canister. The scientists were happy to discover rocks and dust outside the collection canister. Each individual piece will be removed, cataloged, and studied. This will take several weeks, and hopefully soon after, the canister will be opened, and then those samples will be cataloged and studied. It is expected that within 6 to 8 months, all the samples will have been removed and cataloged, at which point universities and other institutions will be able to request samples for study. So far, the few rocks that have been studied from outside the collection canister have shown that they contain molecular water and large amounts of carbon. This suggests that the asteroids may have brought the building blocks of life to Earth. So far, the sample is approximately 5% carbon by weight, which makes it one of the highest concentrations of carbon studied in any asteroid. Since just a few days after landing, the science team has already analyzed some of the rocks and dust using a scanning electron microscope, as well as taking infrared measurements and conducting a chemical element analysis. They also used X-ray imaging to create a 3D model of one of the particles to reveal its composition, revealing a, quote, scientific treasure of carbon and water content, according to OSIRIS-REx principal investigator Dante Lauretta. NASA Administrator Bill Nelson said, "The first analysis shows samples that contain abundant water in the form of hydrated clay minerals, and they contain carbon as both minerals and organic molecules." Over the next several weeks, months, and years, we'll learn more and more from the samples returned from Bennu. The samples will contain answers to questions that haven't even been thought of yet many years into the future. The scientific value of this is priceless, so keep listening and watching for more from this incredible mission. Well, that's all for this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope that you found our time together to be fun and helpful. If you have questions or episode suggestions, please email us at astroguypodcast@gmail.com or leave us a text or a voicemail at 973-404-0380. If you're not already a member, please join the Astro Guy Podcast group on Facebook. You'll find other members, videos, blogs, and lots of other useful information there for your enjoyment. You can also visit our YouTube channel, the Astro Guy Podcast, for past episodes and other surprises. Please subscribe. Please consider leaving us a review on your podcast platform. It helps us to get new listeners. Thank you again for listening, and may your skies be clear. As always, Carpe Noctem, seize the night. I'm Wayne Zuhl, and this was the Astro Guy Podcast. Thank you for listening. As always, your questions, comments, and suggestions are welcome. Keep wondering. Keep your eyes on the sky. Have fun. Carpe Noctem. Seize the night.